Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be across the world. This is going to be a video about Gestalt Therapy. Alrighty, this is for my California takers, although a lot of the times when I do the videos and stuff and the different models, I always go off what Diane Gerhardt says. If it's going to be on the national or if it's going to be on California, she said Gestalt Therapy is likely to be on the California exam. So this is for my California takers. I haven't heard anybody from the national say Gestalt Therapy has been on their exam. So we have who? Fitz Pearls, Laura Pearls, and Paul Goodman. And the therapist stance is similar to what? Person-centered therapy. This is your other humanistic experiential form of therapy, where the therapist is authentic. They are present in the moment with their clients or their families. They are non-directive. They are nothing like a strategic therapist. They allow the client to be the expert in their own lives. But Gestalt therapy also uses confrontation only to gently increase awareness to that client or that family, right? What's happening in the session at that present moment. We are not focusing on the history. We're not doing genograms. We're not focusing on the past. We are in the present when it comes to Gestalt therapy. These are your key principles of Gestalt therapy. Kind of looks the same, almost like person-centered therapy, right? Here and now awareness. What is happening in that present moment? Holism, mind, body, emotions that is within that environment. All of that is seen as a whole. They're not separate. They are all together as a whole, right? The figure ground. Awareness is like what? A field. What is important? What stands out in the background? Is there anything in therapy that we need to bring forth that is considered unfinished business, right? And we'll get to that as well. Contact and boundaries. These are your healthy functions. These are your contacts with the environment while you are still maintaining a clear sense of who you are, what you want, and what you deserve. This is all. I love the humanistic approach because it's about me. That self-awareness component that we're talking about. What I see, I need to put a boundary up. This is what I would like to be a part of my life. It's coming and going, or I don't want you here at all, right? Responsibility. We, as a Gestalt therapist, we want the client to take ownership of their feelings. This has nothing to do with anybody else because, again, even in person-centered therapy, right? I'm not seeking any of that validation from somebody else. It comes from me. I'm not blaming anybody else. I take responsibilities for my feelings and how I feel, right? And then we take a look at that unfinished business. Is this the experiences that we had growing up or in the past, if you want to say, that was never fully processed? You never really had that time to sit down, think about what happened, how it turned out, and it could be right now, presently impacting what you have going on with yourself. Is it interfering with your present awareness of things, right? And in Gestalt therapy, we are going to help bring that to the surface so that we can finish that unfinished business that we have. Now, these are the 5 stages of Gestalt therapy. The phony, phobic, impasse, implosive, and explosive are your 5 stages of Gestalt therapy. And in the phony stage, it is exactly what it is. Faking it, shoulda, coulda, woulda, I don't want to hear it, I didn't do this wrong, I didn't do that, avoiding it, right? And then the therapist is going to do what? We are bringing this to awareness. And at the same time, I'm not judging you and I'm not criticizing you. We are working on that here and now focus and that body awareness, right? I'm not judging, I'm not here to criticize. But you still got your shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and we have to work on that. The phobic stage, we are now again, sometimes people, they don't want to address a situation because they want to avoid the way it makes them feel. That's that pain, that's that hurt, and that's their rejection. We don't want to experience that. So as the therapist during this stage, we have to do what? Create that safe environment where we are allowing and accepting these emotions, again, without criticism and without judgment, right? And the intervention that we're using is I statements, because we're not blaming anybody else. We're taking responsibility for our feelings, right? We're taking responsibilities for our emotions, right? The impasse, this is where we are stuck. It's not working. That person, that client is just not ready to trust what is going to help them. And they are going to continue to feel helpless, or they're going to continue to feel empty, right? And as that therapist, I'm still going to support that. No criticism, no judgment. This is where you're going to be using the empty chair. You have some issues with somebody and you have that unfinished business or whatever. We need to be exploring the present moment. So we're going to sit and we're going to talk to this empty chair, and whatever that is that you need to get out for that issue that you're still having, you're going to talk to that person, right? Implosive stage. Now the client is becoming aware. They might be anxious because we're experiencing some of these feelings that we've been trying to avoid for a very long time, right? But the therapist is going to be present in the moment, and we're going to be paying attention to some of that body language that client is giving us. I'm noticing this when this occurs. Sounding the same as person-centered therapy, right? You're going to be noticing the silence, or even giving them like this exaggeration exercise, like, okay, let's amplify it some more. Like, it's not as bad as we think it is, but let's exaggerate it anyways. And then you're going to be confronting the client very gently of them trying to still avoid some of the things that they're aware of, right? Explosive stage. This is you are authentic. Your emotions, they are coming to emerge. And now you have, as a therapist, you've built this safe environment. They are free to release it. The therapist is going to be supporting the expressions, and we're going to be integrating some of those new awarenesses of the client, right? And the self-awareness that they're going to be having. And we're going to still be creating that same present moment dialogue with our clients. Still free from what? Criticism and judgment. We are not here to do that with our clients, right? We've worked so hard building this safe environment with them that they can freely bring the things, to awareness, and then take ownership of it, because we want our clients to be aware of their emotions and their feelings, right? And then these are some of your key terms to Gestalt therapy. We just ran through some of these, I believe, as I was talking, but it's just going to be just a repeat. The empty chair technique. This is you resolving that unfinished business, and we need to be increasing awareness to the different parts of ourselves or the relationship that you have with someone else. That client is simply just going to do what? Speaking to an empty chair as if that person is sitting right there. That's the empty chair technique. That is a Gestalt therapy technique, right? Exaggeration exercise, exaggerated gesture or a posture. Like I said, it ain't as bad as you think it is, but let's just exaggerate it anyways, right? Just to see. It's going to increase that awareness and the body language of your emotions. You're going to be able to recognize it. Like a gesture or a posture that you might have, just exaggerate it, because I want you to be comfortable with it, so that when it happens and you notice it, you become aware of it, you're going to know how to work through it, right? Staying with the feeling, again, same way as person-centered therapies, we are deepening into the present moment awareness and those emotions that the client wants to avoid. If the client laughs while talking about sadness, I am going to let you know, I noticed that, right? Because it's kind of like not matching, right? And we're bringing this to awareness with our clients. I statements is exactly what it is. The same way, taking the I position. We are taking ownership. We're not blaming anybody else, right? I feel angry when this happened, right? And we're not blaming anybody else. This is all on me. These are my feelings. These are my emotions. So I'm going to take ownership over it. We are going to be doing a dialogue between parts, integrating conflict and aspects of self, right? And then this is when the client is going to be doing what? Now we have two chairs that are there, right? It's going to be the different parts of themselves, that critical part, that vulnerable part, maybe that angry part, that depressed part, and you're going to be dialoguing between the two of them, okay? Dream work. They do dream work in here where your dreams are just like, the dreams are us, what our desires, the things that we have in life, the things that we miss in life. but it's just like a conscious area of it, and we're just going to work through that, right? We're going to explore that unconscious material. I sometimes seem to think the same way too. Like if something is happening in my dreams, I'm just like, oh, I think consciously this is what I'm worried about, this is what I'm thinking about, I think I need to address it, right? Again, here and now focus, present moment. We are increasing awareness. We're not talking about the past. We're not doing genograms. We're not digging into what happened 30, 40, 50 years ago. We are presently in the moment, right? And then that leads you to your body awareness. Body sensations with your emotions and thoughts. Do they match? The therapist is going to draw like attention to that. I want you to be aware of that. Like I noticed that every time you talk about your father, you clench your fist. You know, I noticed that when you speak about your mother, you drop your head. You don't make eye contact with me anymore. This is the body sensations that are connected to our emotions and our thoughts. And that's the holism aspect that they were talking about. Mind, body is all connected into one, okay? Now, again, some more key terms. It's a lot of them, and it's just a repeat. But if anybody wants these, please feel free to send me a message. Let me know. I can give you the PDF formats. But this is just discussing like why it is important to have it in the therapy. If anybody wants these, just like I said, please leave me a message or a comment, and I can send those over to you. This is Gestalt Therapy works best with what? When you want to increase self-awareness and live more authentically, this is what Gestalt Therapy is going to work with. Emotional blockage, anxiety, depression, or stress, the mind and body connections that I was just talking about, it's all one, it's all entangled into one. The thing about it is when it comes to exponential and the humanistic approaches, it's more active. It's more active where you're like actively doing things, not just sitting there and just talking. So if you are into like doing that or whatever, then Gestalt Therapy would work for you. But I want to make note that Gestalt Therapy does not work for anyone who has severe psychosis or acute psychiatric crisis. They need more structured interventions, right? Cognitive behavior therapy might be best. It does not best to be in severe psychosis and be using Gestalt Therapy because it's for the present moment and being authentic, right? I took a week to study this model just like I did the other humanistic approaches because I did not study it when it was time for me to study for my exam. If there is anything that I have said that is incorrect or does not sound right to someone, please leave me a comment, leave me a message, and let me know. I do not want to give false information to anyone, but my goal is when it comes to these models is to kind of like make it so I'm not sitting here talking for an hour about it. We are hit the ground running about what is this model about, what is the goals of these therapy, what is the phases of the therapy, and we're moving on from it. I don't want to do too much and kind of confuse each and every one of you. But like I said, if there is something in here that I have said that is incorrect, please let me know. Send me a message, leave me a comment, and I will try my best to edit the video and then repost it. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed this video and you have a better understanding of Gestalt Therapy. And I hope each and every one of you enjoy the rest of your day.